So here's the thing. Anycubic are perpetually the underdog in the mid-tier 3D printing world. You know it, I know it, I'm sure to a degree even they know it. Their machines are usually cheap, sometimes cheerful, often unfinished, but every now and then they drop something that punches well above its weight. Like for example the M7 Max, which caught more than a few people off guard, me included. Do more like that please, Anycubic. But for now, this absolute unit of a printer is the Kobra 3 Max. It's not perfect, hell, it's not even that well made, and the support around it is limited. This is still Anycubic after all, but I've got to be honest, it's unashamedly fun. Hi, I'm Ross, and this is Fohammer Videos. So let's start with the hardware setup. This is far less unbox and print and more construct your own robot overlord. This thing ships flat packed and the printer base comes bolted to the frame for shipping. Now I respect the effort there, Anycubic must have already lost enough machines to UPS that now they ship them more like industrial equipment. You unbolt the base, attach the gantry, connect the screen, route a spaghetti mess of cables, and then the best bit, install the massive stabilizing struts at the back. Literally scaffolding for the printer. Now it's more involved than most machines, sure, but nothing you can't handle unless you lose screws easily, in which case get yourself a magnet or a therapist. The manual's decent and for Anycubic standards, practically Shakespeare. One minor quirk, and this is a small one, is unlike the smaller Kobra 3 where the hot end holds itself in place by 2 screws while you secure the others, this one actually requires you to hold it in place with one hand whilst balancing a bolt on the tip of a driver with the other. It's awkward, it's fiddly, but it's not impossible, just mildly irritating, and you only have to do this once, initially. Now the one thing I noticed is the little plastic filament boot used to fling filament off the side of the machine during material changes actually comes inside the ACE box when you get the combo. So if you didn't buy the combo, is it a case of no boot for you because it looks that way on the product page? And it's not just that, the filament cutter also comes in the ACE box too. Again, not with the Solo printer. Now I understand these aren't necessary without a multi-material unit, but they are still handy and I just don't understand why Anycubic would separate these. If you do buy the printer solo and later decide to upgrade to have an ACE, you need to know that you also need the purge wiper and the filament cutter. And as of right now, 6 months after release, the purge wiper isn't available from Anycubic for the Kobra 3 Max, and it's not the same one used on the normal Kobra 3. But once you passed all the building, you just boot it up and it does its usual setup routine. Bzz, whiz, flashy logo, it's about that dramatic. It runs you through the out-of-box setup automatically, and then you're ready to print. Now look, I love underdogs, but let's not lie to ourselves. Anycubic machines feel like prototypes that accidentally made it to retail, and they're not the only brand. This is what we come to expect with most brands in the mid-tier. The plastics are okay, the metal bits are mostly straight, and the touchscreen works like a touchscreen. What you won't get here is the highest tech, most well-built product. What you will get is size, and lots of it. The build volume is 420 by 420 by 500 millimeters. That's half a meter tall. It's the kind of size that gets a lot of people excited, but please, if you buy it, just understand when you go in, it needs just under a meter of clearance on your workbench depth for the bed to actually move forwards and backwards. This isn't as much a printer as it is a space commitment. So unless you already know your workbench is the size of a dining table, measure twice, cry once. Now I need to mention the live view camera, which is an add-on that comes separately and you need to print the case for it, just like the other Kobra 3s. I took mine off my Kobra 3 V2. Now the slicer supports it and you can see video, but the phone app only pretends to support it because I've never had a connection yet, and like every other Kobra 3 printer I've tested with this optional feature, still couldn't get time lapses to work. So I guess if you're into disappointment, 10 out of 10, highly recommend this add-on. Now the UI is functional, it's super basic, but just like I'm described by many of my current and past lovers, it'll get you there eventually. But there's no wow options. It's got filament management for what's loaded in the ACE, that's there, but still, look, there's just no real innovation. If you're new to this brand, well, it's commonly known that you don't buy Anycubic for the latest features. You buy it because it's big, it's affordable, and probably because it was in a killer sale, but mostly because maybe you've never had one before, or you're just optimistic enough to think that this time, Anycubic have nailed it. Look, it's an Anycubic machine like every other Anycubic machine. So why would you buy this? Well, because it's massive. That's the reason. Full stop, end of. It's huge. If you want to print helmets or even larger cosplay props or decorative planters so large that they require a postcode, this is for you. Now, if you pair it with the ACE, good news, it works, mostly. It can change colours mid-print, it can switch between two spools when one runs out. Usually seamlessly, except for one time in my case where it purged about 20 times right as it had ended a print. No idea why it did that. Also, you know how the ACE heats your filament and the point of that is to keep it dry? Yeah, I mentioned this in my Kobra 3 V2 video and now I've tested it a lot more thoroughly. I stuck a hygrometer inside and ran it for 12 hours overnight. Twice. And, once again, the humidity barely changed. Because it turns out when you heat filament in a sealed box with no airflow, all you're doing is steaming it gently. Like some sad plastic bow bun. And I've also had some issues with nozzle clogging. Not mid-print thankfully, at least not yet, but almost every time I went to start a new print, it threw up an error saying unknown filament in extruder, and then I had to manually remove and clear the nozzle every time. I guess at least the quick release system makes that easier. But once again, this printer uses a completely different nozzle to every other Anycubic machine. No cross compatibility, no ecosystem logic, no logic at all. Again, these are the things we've just come to expect. I didn't say accept. Because this is frustrating, especially when we've just had the Kobra 3 V2 and that was upgraded to match the S1 nozzle. And shared components are good because it means more things are available and it shows the brand has confidence in its design. Here, with the Max, you're locked into a very niche nozzle, and 6 months after launch there's still no sign of a 0.6 or 0.8 option. On a machine this size, they should have been standard from day one, and I don't know if we'll ever get them at all. But here's where the things get really spicy. Nah, it's another bait and switch. Despite all of this, when it prints well, and I love it. I printed a scaled up Eternal Forge hammer at 260% because that was the max size that this volume of printer could handle. And it took nearly a week. It's a hollow model, it used lightning infill, it has 2 walls only, and used 0 supports. And honestly, where I'm impressed is it actually worked. Now I've got to be honest, the handle, or most of the handle, was printed elsewhere for speed of getting this video done, but the hammer head and the first part of the neck, all on the Kobra 3 Max. And when I posted this online, some people thought I'd just scaled it up in Photoshop, but as you can see now, it isn't. I mean, it's already me faux hammer holding a faux hammer, but I'm not going to go so crazy as to post a picture of faux hammer holding a faux hammer. Try saying that 10 times fast. I've got the luxury of editing. You only heard the best take. But yeah, this printed. Now I did notice as it printed higher and higher, we did get some minor surface issues show up. But again, this is a bed slinger throwing a very thin walled print back and forth. The fact that this print was able to succeed with lightning infill should say it's more than decent enough. And you'll probably notice there is a lot of stringing too, but this is actually all internal on the part. There's no strings between the parts, which I've got to be honest, that's absolutely fine. And I'm genuinely shocked by this. I love this. This was so successful, in fact, it's now going to make an unsolicited gift for someone who never asked. Sorry, Element Games. I think the thing is, most printers I've had absolutely sucked. They're heavy, slow, glitchy, or just don't work well out of the box. And the last ones I had, they kind of came out during the big sea change we had in the last couple of years in the FDM space. So they were already outdated on release. This one, it's actually quite delightful. Just don't expect it to evolve much. Here's the summary for those who skip to the end. Is it janky? Yes. Is it cheaply built? Also yes. Will the software irritate you? Probably, but can it print enormous cosplay props, terrain, home decor, or parts for ridiculous hammer builds? Absolutely. And for the price, it's insanely capable. So whilst this is still very much an Anycubic, it's peak Anycubic. All guts, no polish, but somehow lovable. Do you already have one? Are you thinking about getting one? If you do, I'd appreciate you using my affiliate link in the description before your purchase. That's how I fund this channel. I make a commission at no cost to you. But even if you don't have one and have no plans to get one, let me ask you all, what is the first stupidly big thing you'd print if you had a 1/2 meter cube build volume? Let me know in the comments. That might be a precursor for a future video. Don't forget to click like. Nobody clicks like, nobody comments when they should. All of those things massively help the channel. I want to say thanks for watching, with a huge thanks to our members on screen now. They all get access to Discord roles, early access, and exclusive videos. So sign up if you're into that sort of thing. I want to say thanks again for watching. Thanks for sticking around. Click like, leave a comment. Again, that matters more than anything else. Until next time, I'm not even supposed to be here today. Fohammer out.